Okay, so if you want to get yourselves down to sitting, and just sit just a nice easy cross-legged, just to begin with. Okay, so you've all got everything at hand. You've got your blocks, you've got your chair, everything just near you. Okay then. Right, so we'll just start first of all and just lift your shoulders right up and roll them back and down. And then let the hands just rest onto the legs. So just a nice easy cross-legged position. And then just gently close the eyes. Taking a few breaths. So just allowing the day just to slowly start to slip away. So time just to focus now just on yourself. And after your next exhalation, you're just going to bring the palms together. Just dip the chin down slightly. So just making an intention which you feel is just heartfelt, just appropriate just for you to spend the time just on yourself. And your intention may even just be to give yourself time just during this practice. Time without any interference. And then bringing the thumbs up just to the space just between the eyes, just to reaffirm that intention. And then taking the hands up over the crown, so your intention is then out there. And then drawing the hands back down towards the heart center. And releasing the hands down to the knees. So we're just going to start just a gentle rock forwards and back, just so we make sure that the small of the back is moving. So nothing too crazy, just kind of tiny little movements really just to begin with. Just so we can really isolate just the small of the back, make sure that it is moving. And then we can start maybe just with the thoracic spine, so up into the chest, just easing forward and easing back. And then just bringing yourself back to upright. Okay, lift the shoulders, just roll them back. And placing the hands just back behind you, just maybe onto your blocks. Push the hands down, lift the chest up even more. But feel that your base, so anything that's touching down onto the floor, onto the block, is firmly rooted down. We're feeling that gentle lift, but we're also feeling the body just gently moving each time we breathe. Now I'm going to rock over the knees, and you're just going to come over, so we're going to sit into Virasana. I'll show you sideways on, just so you know. So we're just going to take our block, 1 or 2 blocks, place it between your ankles, grab a little bit of the flesh on your calf muscles, and then sit back. So we're just sitting right back, just in between, so you should have the feet just nicely up to the edges of your outer hips. Make sure that the knees feel comfortable, facing forward. If you need to, if the knees feel as if they're catching, either sit up a bit higher or place something just at the backs of the knees, just to give you that little bit of space. Okay, now make sure you feel as if the bottom is firmly rooted down. Feel a gentle lift, drawing up, pulling up through the center of the body, chest lifting, making sure those lower rib cage is nicely tucked in. Bring the hands straight out in front, interlock the fingers and turning the hands over. So aim to get the elbows kind of as neatly in towards each other as you can. And then taking the arms up over the head, making sure again that we're not flaring out and splaying out with the lower rib cage. So it's Pavatasana, hands in Virasana. Squeeze your elbows in a little bit closer together. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. Then see if we can lift up that little bit higher. Then again, draw the shoulder blades back and down. Draw back through your belly. Keep the weight pushing down just into the buttocks and down onto the block. And then bringing the hands forward, turning the hands over, and separate the hands, just pressing down. Okay, so if we rock over, push the hands down, and we're coming straight up, so up to standing. Right, you're going to grab yourselves a block. You need to be near the wall for this one. So I'm just going to show you first. If I go this way on, you'll be able to see. A little bit of a distance away from the wall. I'm going to bend your knees a bit so your bottom is back onto the wall. And the small of your back is at the wall. Now you're going to hold onto your block, but I want you to feel as if when you've got hold of it like this, as if you're trying to pull the block apart. So you've got to feel as if, not kind of pushing in, we're going to pull apart so we can roll the shoulders back and down. So we're just going to be at the wall, a little bit away from it. Your feet can be a little bit of a distance apart. So get your bottom back, get the small of your back onto the wall. Your block is in front. Now, again, like as if you're trying to pull that block apart. And then slowly start to take that block up over the head. So just exactly the same as what you've just done with your hands when you were sat, when you were in Virasana. So taking the arms back. So everyone will have a different range. Some of you may be able to get the thumbs maybe right back to the wall, or even the block back onto the wall. So keep the stretch, keep lifting up, keep lifting up, lifting up, keep the small of the back, pushing back, draw back through your belly. And then slowly down with the arms. And push away from the wall. Okay, and then we're back onto our mats. So we're just going to do the same one again, except we're just not going to have the wall there this time. I know the wall is right behind me, but I'm not going to use the wall. So hands onto the block. Feel as if you're trying to pull that block apart. Feet can stay together. Zipping up, pulling up nice and strongly. And then keep the tailbone sinking down. Think of your small of your back when it was pushing into the wall. And slowly start to take the arms up. Remember, you're still trying to pull that block apart. So going up, 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 up. I'm going to step back a bit because I've run out of space. I can't see. So I'm going to stretch up, stretch up, stretch up. Keep pulling apart. Now when you're pulling apart, still working as if the shoulder blades are pulling back and down. So be careful that we're not jutting forward with the belly or with the lower part of the rib cage. Keep the front of the thighs pulling up towards the hips. Tailbone tucking down, lift through the chest, arms stretching up, elbows in a little bit closer together. And then releasing that down. Good, now we can just leave that block at one side. And you're going to need your chair for this one. So, this chair, whichever chair you've got, as long as you've not got it on wheels. I did try having it on wheels before, but yeah, it's not too great. So you're going to need the chair. If I show you first, you're going to have your chair. You can place it right near the wall, and you're going to be right back against the wall. So I'm right back against it because I'm keeping that position which I've just done in the last pose where I was stretching up. So my feet are back, my bottom is back against it. I'm going to lift up with my right leg and take that out to the side. So I'm just mirror imaging you. I know it's my left, but just pretend it's my right. Okay, so it's going out to the side, and we're forming kind of a right angle with that leg, or like a box on there. So we want one leg up, that leg out to the side, And I'm going to make sure on my opposite hip that it's heading back to the wall. Standing leg pulling up. So the foot is rooted down. You can even lift your toes up a little bit. Push the heel down and feel as if the calf muscle is pushing down. But right from the knee and above the knee, those muscles are pulling up. So as if we're trying to pull the femur bone right up into the socket. This side is out to the side. We're going to grab hold of that flesh. So fingers forward, thumb is back. Roll it back as much as you can to open up on that side. Again, watch what's happening there. We don't need to pull round. Keep it back. Keep the shoulder back as much as we can. Once we're there with it, again, imagine that you had your hands onto that block. Take the arms up over the head. Imagine that you're pulling that block apart. So standing really strong on that standing leg. Reaching up, draw the shoulder blades down just a little bit. Keep working as if that leg, that right leg is turning out to the side. So open up in the hips a little bit more. Your left hip is drawing back to keep you flush with the wall. Okay, and then slowly bringing the arms down. And bring the leg down. So that leg could just come back in, have the hands down. Just really realign yourself. You can even just push back into the wall. Make sure that you're nice and straight. Okay, so just take a couple of breaths. And I'm going to swap over and do on the other side. So standing first of all, feet are together. Your back against the wall. Your bum is against the wall. So everything is kind of pulling back to there. So when we lift up now, with our left leg, we can turn that foot, bring it out to the side, try and make a right angle if we can on that leg. So we're going to have that right hip bone pulling back. Grab hold of the inner thigh. We turn and we're pulling it back as if it's heading back to the wall. So we're opening up, making sure as well that with part of the rib cage and the belly, the shoulder, it doesn't want to roll in, so we can even kind of pull that round, keep the shoulder back against the wall. Really work it through the standing leg, nice and strong. Get that foot active. So lift your toes up, push the heel in. Feel as if that the calf muscle, is pushing down, but right from the knee and the muscles just above the knee, so in the thigh, or pulling up to the hip. Now bring your arms in, so tuck your elbows in, nice and small, so little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. Okay, keep the lower part of the rib cage from flaring. Imagine again that you're pulling that block apart, then take it up over the head. Nice and strong with the arms, really work it right from the foot. So the lowest point on the floor, lowest point, so really work it through the heel. Reaching, pulling up. When that thigh muscle is working, we also feel as if the femur bone is pulling right up into that hip socket. If you have the flexibility on your arms, you may have your thumbs back to the wall, but don't go there if you feel that's arching the back. Just work on the lift. Okay, and then bringing the arms back down and back in. Okay, so bring that leg down. Again, realign. Just work it so you can even take the body back to the wall, or if the wall's not great for you at the moment, if it feels a bit awkward to be shoved right in a corner near the wall somewhere, then you'll have to kind of just stand nice and straight. Okay, so we're going to take the chair back over again to the other side. So once we're there with it, now on this one, we don't necessarily need to have we do on this one. So we're going to have our bottom back against the wall again. We're going to lift up with that right leg, take it back out to the side again. So keeping the hips back. Now rather than that right angle, which we've created, bring the foot in just a little bit more so the heel is lifted. Okay, so we've got it there, then we can edge it in a little bit more. If you grab underneath the leg and pull up, you can almost make the leg quite light as you bring it in. Okay, so we're there with it. We're just right on the tip of the toes, just onto the chair. Now I'm going to reach down, grab hold of the foot. We're going to bring that leg right up into the inner thigh. Now feel as if the heel is pulling up. So it wants to feel as if it's drawing along that line of the body. We've already got our bum kind of pushing back into the wall, so it helps us with our balance. We're just going to keep the hips nice and level. We're working on opening up in the hips. So again, feel as if you can even grab hold. So we're rolling out, pushing out to the sides. Hips are both at the wall, nice and strong on the standing leg. Little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. Feel as if you're pulling that block apart. Take the arms up over the head. Nice big stretch up. If you feel okay with it, if you feel as if everything is aligned okay, then bring yourself away from the wall. Really work it, pull up into the legs nice and strongly. Feel as if we're kind of rolling out one side to the other. Now that leg, when it pulls up, has really got to feel as if it is pulling up into the body. That's going to help you get that lift. Work also the standing leg pushing into the bent leg pushing into the standing leg. Okay, and then Tyrannosaurus Rex arms, bring it down and releasing that foot down. Okay, just roll the shoulders back, take a breath. Okay, move your chair over to the other side. So again, we're doing the same on this side. So make sure that your bottom is back against the wall. Nice and straight, pulling up on the legs. Even lift the toes. Make sure that the heels are well grounded. We feel as if the calves muscles are kind of pushing down as well, rooting down towards the floor. And the thigh muscles, knees are all pulling up towards the hips. Okay, you can hold on to the wall and keeping the hips back, lift one leg. So have that right angle to begin with. You can grab hold of some of the flesh, roll it round. This is opening up in the hips. Okay, from there we can pull up a little bit and we can bring it just to the tip of the toes. So right near the front edge of your chair. So notice when you grab hold that you can pull up and it should be nice and light on that leg. So no tension there. So from there, we can then bring the hand down. We can bring that heel in. So we're pulling up, sucking that heel right up. So it's in towards the perineum. It's pulling right up. Okay, hips, both hips are back against the wall. The leg is rolling out to the side. Then we can bring the hands, little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. So we're squeezing those elbows in. But imagine pulling that block apart, that would be between your hands. Take the arms up over the head. So a nice big lift. Really feel as if we're lifting, we're drawing up. That heel drawing up through the center of the body. So lifting, lifting, lifting. Draw the shoulders back and down. Keep that lift, making sure none of the lower rib cage is flaring out. Good, and then bringing the hands back down again, and release down, and we can release the leg. Okay, just roll the shoulders back, keep your back against the wall. Okay, so move your your chair over to the other side. So we're going to go into Virabhadrasana 2 on this one. Now let me show you where we're going with it. So we're going to start off just with exactly that same movement as what you've just done on the last one. So we get that right angle first of all. Now we can take the leg out a little bit wider. You can either jump it or you can just take the leg over a little bit wider, turning the toes in slightly. Now from here, so our hips are level to begin with. Now you want to, if you even have kind of like your finger pushing into that bum cheek. So all we're going to do is we're going to push into that. And as we push, we're again rooting the foot down, but really feel as if you're pulling up into that femur. This leg, or the femur into the hip bone. This leg, the femur should feel as if it is making that connection and pulling up, okay? So we're going to have one arm out, so right arm out, left hand push it in, and then just easing into it. So you'll feel that nice long stretch. It's exactly the same as we normally do Virabhadrasana 2, except we're up on a chair. So if we take the arm out to the side, now we need to kind of tip it back slightly, just to make kind of the alignment with it right. If we were there, we've gone more towards Parsvakonasana, which we're going to do next. So we're just going to ease it back ever so slightly. Okay, feel the strength in that back leg, feel the opening up in this front leg. Push into the heel on that front leg, even lift the toes up slightly. Okay, we're there with it. Now you're going to feel that the left side of the body is pulling to the left. Right side, all we're doing on the right side is that right leg pulling out to the side. Then we turn, we're looking beyond the middle finger of that right hand. See if we can maybe just ease down a tiny bit more. Really feel as if the femur bones are pulling up into the hip sockets. Okay, and then push all the way back up. Then a heel toe it back in, and then bring that leg back in. Okay, slightly more graceful than I did. Okay, so just roll the shoulders back, stand nice and strong, nice and tall. Take a few breaths, just allow the breathing just to settle. Okay, let's do the other side. So remember, when you've got your chair there ready, you're going to bring that leg up so it starts off and it is just a right angle. So we have that, the leg up on the chair, leg right out to the side. We can either jump or step it out. So a little bit further. That's it. Now, so you can just push the heel out a little bit so the toes come in. Now I'm here, remember, keep the hips level as if they were pushing back against the wall. So all in this leg is rolling and pushing back. You can have the hands on there just to reinforce that. Place your right hand, the fingers maybe just into right at the top on that hip, on the buttock, and you're going to start just to, take the arm out to the side, then start just to push, just to ease it down. So no pressure at all on that left knee, nice and strong in the back leg. Once we're there, take the arm out, lean it back slightly, just so we're in Virabhadrasana 2. Now we're drawing that right side of the body back towards the right. Even taking the left side of the body, pull it round a little bit more as if it's coming round to the right side. Turn the head and just look beyond the middle finger of that left hand. Just breathing, taking it nice and steady. Good, and then slowly start to bring it back up. We can just heel toe it back in. And then bring that leg in. Okay, roll the shoulders back, nice and strong. So heels are pushing down, lift the toes, spread the toes out. Feel the legs pulling up. Again, so those femur bones are pulling up right up into the hip socket. Draw your belly back, low part of the rib cage in. Keep the chest lifting tall, shoulders back and down. Okay, good. So move the chair back to the other side. Right, so this time we're going for a Parsvakonasana. So let me just show you first before we go into it. So we're going to be taking that leg up. We'll start either to jump or walk it out as much as you need to. We're going to start again as we did before for Virabhadrasana 2. So we bend that leg. So I'll just get my toes in slightly in the right position. Arms are going out to the side. Now we're going to start now to feel as if it's pulling in, and we feel as if that hip is pulling right up and over, and we take a little lean with it. Hand is going to come down on the inside, and we're just going to bring this arm right in. Okay, so we'll get to there first of all. So if you want to start off just in that right angle position with the leg, so take it up. Either jump it out Or you can heel toe, and then make sure that your heel is out slightly further than the toes. Okay, so we're there with it, right. So we can even have one hand pressing in onto that bum cheek, other arm out. So we're going to slowly start to push and just easing down. Okay, so once we've got to there, then we can just allow ourselves just to go over. So really feel as if that femur is pulling in towards the body to allow us to come over it. Bring the hand down on the inside of the foot and just have a little fingertips just onto the chair. Bring that left hand in, so we're just right in like Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. Turn the chest up towards the ceiling. So we're turning, turning, turning. So even turning in the waist, and then stretch with that arm up. So we're looking up along the inside of the arm. So it's exactly the same action on the arm as what it was when you had holding onto that block over your head. Keep pushing back right into the outer edge of that back foot. And then after the next exhalation, bring it right back up again. We can heel toe it back in and then stepping it in. So roll the shoulders back and down. Take a breath, just allow the body just to settle. Okay, and then we're ready for the other side. So move your chair over. Oops. Okay, so from here, take the leg up. So you've got your right angle. Again, make sure that the leg feels as if it is rolling out. You can press down, jump the leg out, or heel toe it out a few times. Make sure then that your heel is out slightly further than the toes. Right, so have the hands on the hips, just press down to begin with to lift the chest. Okay, take your left arm out to the side. We're going to use that right hand, you're going to press it in. When it presses in, feel as if the femur bones are pulling right up into the hips. So press down and to bend that leg, good deep bend. Good, now we should feel as if on that femur it's really pulling in to enable us to go over a little bit further and bring the hand down onto the chair. It's going to come down on the inside of the leg. So normally we do it on the outside, but we're on the inside. Aim to turn the body. So we're turning, pulling back on that right hip. We're turning, we're pulling the left side of the waist round towards the right. We're turning the chest. Bring a little Tyrannosaurus Rex arm up by the side. And we turn, and when we can't turn anymore, lifting that arm up. So we're turning, looking up towards it. Good, and then we can bring it back in, bring us back up, all the way up. We can just heel toe back in again, and then stepping it in. So roll the shoulders back, stand nice and tall. Okay, good. So let's just lose the chair just for a moment. We're going to do Parsvakonasana again, so that one that you've just done. And this time you're just going to do it with your two blocks. So when we go over into it, we'll take the legs out ready. Your block's going to be forward of the foot, and we're going to we'll be bringing our hands down onto the blocks, and it'll be a cupped hand, okay? So make sure you have a couple of blocks. Even if you can reach the floor really easy, we're going to just focus on length, on alignment, and on that twist as well of the torso, okay? So legs are out nice and wide. If you can see, I've already turned my right foot out and my blocks are in front. So with my left foot, toes are just in ever so slightly. I'm pushing down with the heel. I'm working to kind of feel as if the calf muscle is pushing back, the thigh is pulling up. Arms are going out to the sides. So as I push down and I'm feeling here, moving in to bend that leg. So just have a quick glance of your knee. You don't need to overshoot the ankle bone. So if you need to, maybe go slightly wider. Then from there, really feel as if the femur bones are pulling up, so we can then just go over to the side, bring the hand down on the inside, and just wrap that arm back for now. So focus on here, turn the belly, turn the chest, turn the head. See if we can get an equal length on both sides of the waist. Then bring that little arm in and then stretch it over the head. Turn and look up. Keep nice and strong lines through the rest of the body. And then to come back up, back to Virabhadrasana 2. And then all the way up. Turn the feet facing forward, hold there. Have the hands just pressing down into the hips. So just taking a breath. And then move your blocks over to the other side so you can turn that left foot out. Okay, and then we're ready for the other side. So get your set up, push down, and then taking the arms out to the sides. So we're going to slowly start to bend that leg. So it's from here, push down, push down, push down, push down, push down. That's it, working it there. Good. Now feel as if the femur bones, so these thigh bones, are pulling in to enable us just to reach over, bring the hand down, wrap that top arm back. So cupping the hand, pressing down. So press, turn the waist. So belly turning, rib cage turning, chest is turning, shoulder is back. When you feel it's all the way back, we're pushing right back into that back leg. Bring a little hand in, stretch it over the head, turn and look up towards that hand. And after your next exhalation, we bring it back by pushing into that back leg and then all the way up. Turn the feet back in, heel, toe the feet back together. Okay, and once you're in, just roll the shoulders back, a little stretch down with the arms, but still feel the strength in the legs. So from the heels pushing down, if you look, you can see my toes are lifting. Really ground those heels, feel the calves of the feet, the calves on the backs of the legs, as if they're rooting down with the feet, and then work the thighs to pull up. Lifting those shoulders, roll them back again. Okay, and then just soften out. Now you're going to need your chair again. So grabbing hold. Now what I would suggest this time is if you push your chair into the wall. I'm going to work with this wall and I'll work with this wall as well. If I work with this one, you won't see where I'm going. So if you want to just see first of all where I'm going to go with it. So we're going to start off, we just have that, again, just like that right angle, what we've been working to. So we've just been going there with it. Then we did, when we worked into Vritsasana, we were nice and light on the toes. If we hold the back of the leg, so we don't really need the wall as much on this one. So we're holding, when we pat the wall is with the chair pushed into it. So we can lift the leg should be nice and light. So we lift it, we stretch it, place it onto the back of the chair. I've had to walk my leg in a little bit because I thought my legs were a bit longer than they were. So we're going to try and avoid the wall, but we're just feeling this nice long stretch here and the opening up again of the hips. Okay, so should we all do it together? And I've stepped in a little bit because my legs aren't that long. So we're going to have the leg first of all in a right angle. So have it out to the side, grab a bit of the flesh, lift it, roll it back. So you feel it as if it's rolling right up into that hip socket. Standing leg nice and firm, pull up, roll back. Okay, grab at the back of the leg. So once we're onto there, we can pull the foot, so we're just onto the tips of the toes, like you were doing for Vrksasana, for tree pose, when you're going to bring that heel in. So we can lift the leg, and it should be nice and light. Then we stretch the leg out, and we place it on the back of the chair. Now, remember, it wants to be right on your heel, so not in your Achilles, not in that, right on the actual heel part. It needs to be on there. So once we're there with it, again, you can grab some of that flesh on the leg. You can just roll it out to the side. And then we're going to do our little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms again. Imagine that you've got a hold of that block and you're pulling it apart. And from there, we're taking the arms up over the head. Nice big stretch up. Feel it right from that lower foot. Foot pushing down. So the heel pushing down. Calf muscle pushing down. Thigh muscle is pulling up. Now, both legs, we have the femur bone pulling up into the hip sockets. That will give us that right up and up towards the hands. Okay, so we're lifting, lifting, lifting. And then slowly start to lower it down. Bring the leg down to the chair first, and then all the way down. So feet come together, just roll the shoulders back, just take maybe 1 or 2 breaths. Body just needs a little bit of time just to process and just to be able to feel what's happened. Okay, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. So you can either turn yourselves around, or I'm going to use this wall so I can still see you all, or I can still see some of you. Some of you look like empty rooms because I don't know where you are in the rooms. Oh, we got, yeah, so empty room. Oh, could just see. Right then. So we're there next to the chair. Again, hopefully I'll think that's about my leg length. Right. So leg up onto the chair. We've rolled out with that leg. So we're forming a nice right angle, but opening up right up into the hips. So grab hold of that flesh, pull it, roll it back, even can roll it round, stand tall, pushing down on that standing leg. I've lifted my toes right up to make sure my heel is working. Then I can just place my toes down. Calf muscle is pushing down, thigh muscle pulling up. Then from there, I can lift it so I'm just onto the tip of the toes. Hand is underneath. I can grab that leg just ever so lightly, just pulling up. And then stretch that leg out, place it onto the back of the chair. So this is why you need your chair into the wall. Can you imagine? Whew, going over. Right, so once you're onto the back of the chair, you can actually just pull your foot away from the wall. It doesn't need to kind of be right onto it. So make sure, again, it is just the heel pressing down on there. You can stand tall. You can reinforce by pulling a little bit of that flesh from the inner thigh, roll it back and down. Remember, bum cheeks, if you had your back against the wall, both bum cheeks would be even and be pressing into the wall. From here, we're a little Tyrannosaurus Rex arms. We're holding onto a block. We feel as if we're pulling that block apart, but your elbows are staying in. Then take the arms up over the head. Long stretch. Feel it right from the foot. Feel it right through the whole of the body. Feel as if now we're trying to kind of pull those femur bones up into the joint, so you'll feel as if the hips feel as if they're sucking in and up. So give a like right up towards the hands. Okay, one last lift. And then bringing the arms down. Bring the leg back in. So first of all, just onto the chair. And then step it in next to the foot. Roll the shoulders back. Make sure we feel as if everything is stacked up, shoulders rolling back and down. Okay, so we have one more standing pose. So grab your chair, place it back over again. You can either put it near the wall if feel safer with it. It might be slightly safer on this one. Yeah, we'll go with the wall. Right, so we're going to do Trikonasana. So again, if you have your leg up onto the chair, straighten the leg out. Oh, sorry, that was wrong. Right, it wants to be right onto the front edge of the chair. So you can have kind of like your the arch and a little bit of the ball of the foot, so it's pressing onto the edge of the chair. Now, when you're straightening that leg out, you're going to have to walk the other leg out and make it a good stride away. So think about what your Trikonasana normally looks like, how wide you have the legs. Okay, so it's about wide enough, I think. Hands are back onto the hips again. Now we're going to push that foot as if you're pushing it away. Now, when you're pushing the foot away, again, feel as if that hip, the femur bone, so it's pulling right up into the hip socket. Now, as it pulls up, we're just going to take a little lean over to that side. Let the hands slide down the leg, and it can push into the leg, almost pushing away. Now, when you're doing this, you don't want to feel as if there's that overstretch here, remember. So kind of feel, leg is pulling up, but that will enable us to kind of fall over that leg a little bit more. Now, when the hand is pressing down, just let the other arm just float up in line with the lower arm. Now, we're pushing right into the leg, which is on the floor. Want to feel as it, again, as if the femur bone is pulling up towards the hip, and we're pulling that left hip back. Turn, look up towards that top hand. And then to come back out of it, we're bringing the arm down. We can bend the leg, just heel toe it back in a little bit, and then bring that leg in. Okay, so roll the shoulders back, just stand, take a couple of breaths. A nice little variation, I think, on Trikonasana, because sometimes it can feel a little bit boring on that one. So anyway, it's just hopefully you found it a nice variation. So let's do the other side. So I'm going to move my chair over to this side. So when I take my leg up onto there, and it's right onto, like near the arch of the foot and near the ball of the foot. Now I'll need to take that leg out a good way out, getting that leg straight. And make sure my toes are turned in slightly on the standing leg. Okay, I'm pushing this leg away. Now I don't want to kind of make sure that my knee is going back, just soften it a little. If you do hyperextend, just make sure you're not kind of coming over with it like that. So you can have a slight micro bend, but really work the thigh muscles, and that's going to pull the femur bone up towards the hips a bit more. All right, so from there, we're going to even kind of take the hands in on that hip joint, or right into the groin. Lift up, and then kind of push your hand in as you ease over. And when you're easing over, let the hand slide down to the leg. Let the other arm just float up, so it's pretty much in line with the lower arm. That's it. Now really reinforce it by pushing right back into that lower leg. And into the back leg, should I say. So push right to the outer edge of that heel. Really work it so you feel as if the femur bone's pulling up towards the hip socket. Should relax in the top half of the body. On the leg which is raised, again feel as if that thigh bone, that femur bone is pulling up into the hip socket. Okay, and then come all the way back up. Heel toe it back in a little bit. And then we can just bring that leg in. Stand with the feet together, roll the shoulders back. Okay, good. Right, we're going to come down onto the floor and move that out of the way. I'll push it over there for now. So we're going to come down onto the floor. You're going to need just have one block, if you can, and have it like that. So one side by side. So we're going to be doing Buttocks. Now, when you're sitting on here, make sure that you have your belt as well handy, just ready for the next pose. So Baddha bound angled pose. We're going to have the soles of the feet together. So come right up to the front edge of your blocks. Have a little bit of a wriggle out, just over from side to side, so you feel as if you're comfortable. Now, again, like we did with the standing ones, so you're going to grab hold, fingers are facing forward, get in on that flesh and pull up, and then turn the hands and pull it back. And just keep easing that flesh back. So working a couple of times, so we're pulling up and then easing back. And just maybe one more time, so pull up and then easing back. Okay, bring the hands onto the block, press down. So we still feel as if your bottom is firmly rooted down, but we're long through the sides of the torso, long out of the hips. Shoulders moving back and down. And then from here, aim to keep the height, bring the hands forward. So, you know, your body is going to come forward a little bit, but we don't want to collapse into it. So if you look at the soles of the feet are right together. See if we can get in and just open up a little bit. Now this depends on how open you are in the hips. So if it's not going to go, then that's fine. You know, just keep the feet together. If they do, you're aiming to turn. So you've got the outer edge of the foot still together, and we have the soles of the feet are aiming to turn to look up towards the ceiling. I'm just going to hold there just for a moment. Now, if the feet are right together, you can still just keep the hands back behind. If the feet are starting to open up, we're just kind of encouraging them just a little bit and just holding that. Okay. And then bring the legs back in. Straighten or bring the legs up and then straightening them out in front. Push your way through the heels. And then again, just relax the legs. Slide them back into Baddha. Sit, just be right near the front edge of the block, almost falling off the block. Now we're going to keep our left leg where it is, and we're going to take the right leg and slide it out straight. Make sure that the hips stay level, so when it slides, it doesn't want to kind of do this. That was really over exaggerated, but you want to keep the hips as level as you can. Grab hold of your belt, and all you're going to have is a loop in your belt, so kind of about that should do. Okay, that's going to go over, and we're going to grab hold. On this one, it's that way. Okay, so we're going to do opposite arm to leg, and I've just got hold. This hand can just be pressing down. So I'm going to press down, lift the chest up even more. Now I'm going to just aim to kind of feel it as if I'm turning and turning and turning. So I've got my, I don't think I mirror imaged on this one, did I? So we all should have our right leg forward, and we're turning towards the right. So we're turning, just looking back, looking back, looking back, looking back. Now making sure as you do that, that the left side, this side, isn't coming up or creeping round. It's staying down as much as it can. Now, once you turn and you look back, you're just going to ease off a little bit. Take a big deep breath in, and as you breathe out, so sound it out. And turn at the same time. And see if we can get a little bit more of a twist round towards that right hand side. Okay, and then turning, looking forward again. We can just lose the belt for a moment. and straighten out with that left leg. Again, push away through the heels. And then just let the legs relax. Draw the legs back in again, back into Baddha. Sit nice and tall. And then this time it's going to be our left leg stretching out. Again, make sure that the hips stay level. Once we're there with it, we're going to grab hold of your loop. And you're doing opposite arm to leg. The other hand's going to just be pressing down so we keep that lift. We're not concentrating on coming forward. We're just going to keep the lift. So watch to make sure that on your right leg that it's staying down as much as it can. So we keep that lift. We inhale, lift up. Exhale, keep on turning and turning and turning and turning and turning and turning. Once you've gone to what you feel is pretty much your maximum, turn it, just ease it off a little bit. Big deep breath in and breathe it out, but sigh the breath out and turn at the same time. So it will be okay, and then bring it back round. So we can let go of that one, and then we can just slide that leg out. So both legs stretching away, heels pushing away, toes are drawing back. Again, still feel as if the femur bones, so thigh bones, are pulling up towards the hips. Now, if you've got the wall fairly close to you, you can even do this with if your chair was behind you, or if you've got sofa or your bed even behind you, then that's what you're going to work with. Let me just show you first. I'm going to move it forward a little bit, and I'm just going to sit on one block. Now I'm going to take my legs out a bit wider. Now on this, I'm just going to bring up my left leg first. So you can see I was a wide leg stance. This leg, if it was straight, just straight out. So it's not this, it's not in, it's out, okay? So we're there with it. Now I'm going to push my arm into so it's left arm into the left leg. I'm then going to take this hand round, and I'm going to use either the wall, or you can use your sofa, anything that you've got behind you. Push it into it, and again we keep that lift, and we're going to work just on that twist. On the twist, you're going to do really exaggerate it. It'll be quite fun for Leah and Layla, both together in the same room doing the breathing. But really sound it out, because you want your belly to really draw back as you kind of get in that twist. Okay? So legs were straight out to begin with, nice and wide, and then one of them left leg bent up. Bring your left hand on the inside of that leg. Then from that'll already start you off as a little bit of a twist. Make sure you're still keeping the weight down on both buttocks. Okay, take your right hand, bring it back behind. So feel that connection, whether it's wall or whatever you've got hold of. Okay, and from here, so we're so there's 3 nice breaths out as you're turning. It'll draw your belly back. It'll enable you to twist that little bit more. Once you're feeling that twist there, and we have it, then look back to the center, and then we bring it all the way back round again. We can then straighten that leg out, nice and wide. And then we do the same on the other side. So bring the leg up. It comes up towards the body, hand in on the, or arm in on the inside, and it's pushing into it. That already starts to kind of take us round a little bit further. So we're going to take that left arm, it's going to go all the way back. We're going to make that connection, wall, chair, bed, whatever. Okay, we've got it there, and then we start with our breath. So it's in, and then exhale, and again, And again. And then we look back to the center, bring it all the way back around. Okay, we can straighten out with the legs and then slide your legs back together. Okay, so now in the session has come for Shishasana, headstand. Now, if you're not doing a headstand, just hold on for a moment and I'm going to give you an alternative pose to do. So for those that are doing it, you want to have your chair on one side. So let me just show you first. You're going to go up, if you can manage it with, well, right, so if you have to excuse my bum, I'm sorry. So if you can manage it, you would be going up and taking the legs wide. You can even try lifting one leg and lifting the other leg and lifting both legs together to come up into wide-legged Shishasana. If you have a chair handy, you can place your chair on one side. So you would be going up pretty much the same way. So once you're there with it, take your legs out nice and wide. One is going onto the chair, other leg nice and wide. Lift, lift, and up. Okay, so from there, you're going to be having the legs wide, and then you're going to be bringing the legs in and focusing on taking the knees out to the sides. When you come back down again, so again, you can come down to the chair and down. Oh, it's warm. Okay, so that's where you're going if you're using your chair. Make sure you've got plenty of space around you, so you're not going to bash into anything. So you can use like the corner of the room or something and go up that way. If you're not wanting to go up, you can practice. Oh, I can see we've got one up there nicely. So you can always practice with your hands together and you can lift up, just have your legs nice and wide. So almost kind of like a dog pose, but just on your forearms. And just, you're still getting that with the arms. Now, if there's any other issues, if you're not wanting to go up, pressure in the head, for instance, then just bear with us. You can always just have the legs just resting near the wall for a moment. But we're going to be coming up and doing that one in a moment. This is only going to be a quick fly up on this one. So, very good, Susan. Who else have we got? We've got Abby up there, nicely done. Michelle, oh, very wide, Michelle, well done. So did we manage to get up that way? Did we manage to get up with the wide leg? Oh, nice one, Susan, good. Good, nice one, Rick, there. We've got Becky just looking at me. That's fine. We've got Teresa, yes, nicely, good. Well done. So when you're ready, you can start to make your way down now on those. That's it, Rick. Watch where the chair is. Oh, steady. Up. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's that. It's very tough. Okay. Right. Okay. So now we're down. So if we up on your head, make sure that you. Oh, this is really fuzzy, isn't it, on here? Can you see me all right? You might have to hang around to get it to focus or something. That's better. I think it's because it's so steamy in this room. Right then, so just grab the back of your head, push in, and then let the hands slide up a little bit. So even if you haven't been up, it's always good to kind of just do these ones for strengthening your neck. There's not much you can do really for kind of strengthening your neck. So it's just one of the few exercises you can do. So just pushing back. It's always good as well. It just kind of resets the neck just into the right place. lots of time on computers or just looking down, and so it just kind of really reinforces that pushing back. So once we've done a few times, that's it, and then we're okay there. We can just, okay, right. So we're going to be doing shoulder stand. Now, if you're not going into your shoulder stand, let me show you first of all. You can have your blocks and things. So you would be placing whatever you need up against the wall if you're not going up into a shoulder stand. Build up nice high and then take the legs up the wall. Let the legs fall as wide as they can go. And just relax with them there. So just relaxing head back, take your arms out just to as wide as you can, but keeping the whole of the back down onto the floor. So you would be there if you're not going up into Savangasana and over into Halasana. Okay, so that would be upper, it's Viparita Karani, so that's legs up the wall, but we're going to be taking the legs out nice and wide. If you are going up into Savangasana, what I would like you to do is to fold your mat up into 3 and put some blankets in there as well. So a nice bit of padding to make it all a little bit higher. Right, chair behind the head. So you're going to be up and then taking your legs over straight onto the chair. Okay, so straight over into Halasana. And then we're taking the legs up. Now from here, this is where you're going to be your wide legs. I'm near the wall, but I've had to make sure that you could see me. So legs are going to go wide, and then we're going to be, again, bringing the legs in. So we have the soles of the feet together. Now there's going to be a variation as well after this one. So once you're done with those, it would be coming into Ardha Padmasana, so half lotus with one leg, keeping one leg up and bringing that leg down onto the chair. So you would be doing that both legs, not as fast as this, and take your time with it. I'm going to come down, I'm just going to check to make sure everybody else is okay. Good. So once the legs have been over into Halasana, that's it. Really stretch up to get up into Savangasana. We've seen Teresa going into the Ardha Padmasana. So that's good. We all right, Becky? Good, nice one. Can we get both those legs done, Michelle? There's a one. So when you have had a go, when you've done Ardha Padmasana, so that's one leg in that half lotus position and you've brought it down. And then see if we can manage to get both legs. You may be able to flip one leg in and maybe be able to get the other one. I think we've got, Layla can do that one. And I'm not sure whether Michelle, maybe Abby, Suzanne, Teresa even, I think, yeah. So remember, if you're not wanting to be up into this, you can be up with the legs up on the wall. You're going nice and wide. So legs out as wide as you can, let them relax there. And then even when you've been with the legs wide for a little while, you can bring them in. So you're doing Baddha Konasana with the legs also in that inverted while you're up onto the wall. These are looking good. Very good. So see if we can get the knees to move further out to the sides, Rick, on that one. Just out a little bit more to the sides. That's it. Think of your hips moving forward. Good. Now just to have a few more breaths here, and then you can start to just make your way back down again. Okay, good. So once we've come down, just take a moment once you're down. Just take a few breaths. And once you've had your few breaths, then you can just unravel your mat. Now, if you've got a couple of blocks, even if you have a brick, one of the bricks are quite good for this one. If you've got your blocks, you might need to have them, you'll need to have them that way around, or you can have them flat. Or alternatively, if you've got one of, I've got a mountain of them over there. Right, to probably never be able to have them in circulation ever again. So you can have like this, or you can have like this, just doing different heights on it, see which kind of suits you best. But if you just have your two, or you can even really roll up a towel or something like that, kind of have that there. So what we're going to do is go back over this. Now, you're going to have your legs, you can either take one of them in Adho Padmasana, so kind of get that half lotus position, other one in, or if you feel like it, you can do it like with full lotus position and just coming in. And then once you're there with that, we go back, and then you're laying back. Now, if you prefer, just, we'll come back up. So you can always have one, or you can just have your legs just a nice easy cross-legged, okay? So one, and again, just going back with it, nice easy cross-legged, and just easing back. Just let the head fall back. But it wants to feel a little bit of a challenge still, just across the hips. It still wants to feel as if there is a little bit of work going on. Usually with an Iyengar practice, there's not an awful lot where you're going to feel completely kind of relaxed with a pose. It should still always feel as if you're working into something. So even in that, and you saw me going back, still there should still feel as if there's work to be done. So if it's the hips, kind of think of the hips opening up a little bit more. If you're not really feeling anything in that stretch, because sometimes when you're in easy cross-legged, it's quite a big difference kind of if you were in full Padmasana, full lotus pose. So maybe try it as well just in, so Supta Baddha Konasana. So have the soles of the feet together. When we've been sat in Baddha Konasana, Supta just means reclining, going back. So you could have the soles of the feet together and just going back over it. And then again, you can focus really on those hips opening, on the chest being nice and open, so we get that full breath coming in. Again, always feeling as if there is some work to be done. And there isn't there? There's always something to be working on. Okay, so just taking 3 more breaths there. After your 3 breaths, and just slowly start just to let the legs go out straight. And you're just going to then just start to straighten the body out as much as you can. So just lying down ready for Shavasana. If you do want to put any blankets or anything over you, the weight of your blocks is always a really nice idea. Just helps the body kind of relax a little bit more if there's a little bit of weight on it. So grab whatever you need, even if you're around and there's some cushions and things, just pile them on top of you. Now I've worked a lot with the hips, with the groin. So even if you want to just have like something underneath the backs of the legs just to take the pressure off the back, or if you want the legs bent and just the knees rolling in slightly, then that's fine. Just however you feel most comfortable. Ideally, get as close to flat as you can. So just have a little bit of space just underneath the arms. Let the feet fall out to the sides. The shoulders just start to fall back. With the eyes closed and just allowing the eyes just to sink back in the sockets. So just allowing this time now just for the body just to fully relax, recover. Time just to process. The body has been working hard for you over the last hour and 15 minutes or so. So just give it a nice reward now, just the time just to be still. And just have a feeling of being quietly pleased. So whatever level in your practice you're at, it really doesn't matter. Just knowing that you took the time, you showed up, you gave it all a go. So always working just in the favor of the body, favor of the mind. Just keeping the body moving, keeping it working. So time now just for the body just to slow down. To fully relax. Time now just to allow the body just to peel away all the layers. The layers of the physical body, the emotional body. In the stillness, we can feel the true self. As we focus just on the breath. Just watch, even after a few rounds, how the breath even starts to quieten itself down. So the breath even becomes slow, quiet, almost motionless at times. We feel the subtle movements. Maybe an odd flicker here and there as the body starts to unravel. So allowing the body to feel calm, relaxed, and content. So just slowly now, just over the next few breaths, start to bring yourselves round, open your ears to the sounds. Be aware of your sense of touch, taste, sight. Just noticing how you feel. And just slowly make your way back up to sitting. Just bringing your hands together. So the hands come together, just center of the chest. The Anjali Mudra in Namaste. Just recall your intention that you set at the beginning. Also bring to mind someone you feel could do with a little bit of help right now. And just dedicate the energy of your practice to them. Bringing the hands up over the crown. Slowly start to draw the hands down past the Ajna chakra, intuitive center, the Vishuddha. You speak our truth and listen well. Anahata, the heart center, center for love and compassion. Manipura, our determination, our will and our drive. Svadhisthana, new beginnings and ability to change. And the Muladhara, for our strength and our stability. Just bringing the hands back to the Anahata chakra. So always remembering to hold a place there for yourself. And softly open the eyes. Namaste.